You know, there was a time when you had to wake up to catch your Saturday morning cartoons, from Doug to Digimon to Pokemon, and to my personal favorite, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now, most of you who see me on Twitter, you have to understand, and you must know by now, that I am a huge Power Ranger fan. I have everything from the Legacy Collection to Megazords to Morphers to figurines. I don't care what it is, I have it. And they say that when kids grow up, they're just kids who have money and they just buy all the shit that they want. I can totally contest to this 100%. So, lately on YouTube, I've been finding all of these Power Ranger behind the scenes footage from the 1995 movie, and it got me thinking, this movie, well, even though it was panned by critics, this movie wasn't half bad. It's actually one of my favorite movies to go back and just revisit. Why? Because I just love Power Rangers. From Mighty Morphin to Zeo to Turbo, In Space, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed, Time Force, Wild Force, Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder, the SPD, Mystic Force. I I didn't watch anything past Mystic Force because by then I was watching the Japanese Sentai, which is what Power Rangers is adapted from. And guys, if you watch any of the Japanese Sentai movies and shows, I just have to say that we've been cheated. And then after that, Power Rangers went off the air for a while from like RPM for like, I don't know, 2, 3 years. Disney bought it because, the Disney mouse buys fucking everything these days. They had Power Rangers for a few years, I think from Ninja Storm up until the end of RPM. So about 10 years they had the Power Ranger property from Saban. And then after RPM, it just kind of faded out for a little while. And then a little bit afterwards, Saban bought back Power Rangers and started with Power Rangers Samurai, which I didn't watch because I watched Samurai Sentai Shikinja, which was, yeah, guys, you watch that before you watch any of the modern day adaptations of Power Rangers, and I will promise you, you probably won't watch anything going forward as far as American adaptations goes. But I still hold the original Power Rangers very, very dear, close to my heart, as well as going beyond to Turbo Zeo. Basically, everything going up until the end of Ninja Storm. I kind of like that. Oh no, take that back. Dino Thunder was pretty dope. I can watch that. But everything after that, it's okay. So from 2014 on to today, Power Rangers has become a huge thing now. They're making new shows. They're getting a new fan following. The comic books from Boom Studios is just freaking fantastic, introducing new characters, new timelines, new arcs. And of course, it's been a very, very fun ride. So I decided to go back and revisit Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie from 1995. Also, if you didn't know, Hasbro has announced that they're going to be rebooting Power Rangers again after the 2017 movie, which I think the 2017 movie was good. Could have been better, but I'll save that for another critique. Before we get started, guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell for more movie content just like this. I'm trying to hit a milestone this 2020, which reminds me, Happy New Year to all of you watching, and I hope you guys stick around for more content. And if you haven't seen Power Rangers from 1995, spoiler warning, I guess? Whatever, we'll get into it. So, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, isn't like the TV show. It takes place in a completely different setting. Well, it's still Angel Grove, but the movie was shot in Sydney, Australia. Usually, the show was always shot in California. So, this was kind of like a big change from going from TV show to the movie. So, I thought that was pretty cool. I like that more, I guess, intense setting. Anyways, going back, you got Tommy, you got Rocky, Adam, Aisha, Kimberly, and Billy doing what they do best. Community shit like jumping out of a plane, skydiving for charity. I mean, these guys have got to be the most well-rounded teenagers I have ever met. They're going to school, they're like playing volleyball on the weekends, skydiving, raise money for observatory, and on the side, they're fucking superheroes who can drive giant mechanical Zords and defeat monsters literally on a fucking weekly basis, probably even daily. I don't fucking know. These kids are just like if they can't get in to yell, I don't know what the fuck they're doing after that. So, anyway, the movie starts off with them jumping out of a plane because they're trying to save the observatory, and at the same time, you kind of get this hint that a comet is supposed to be passing over Angel Grove in like a few days. So the footage skips ahead. They're skating. I mean, they're doing all this cool extreme activities like skating and jumping. Now, when I was a kid, I had skates like these. I had them, and I tried to do all these tricks with them. These fucking things are heavy as shit. I don't know how these dudes were able to do flips and fly and jump and do 360s and stuff like that. You have to get the lighter, more aggressive inline skates in order to do any of that. But going back to the movie, um, as they're going through a construction site, you see these construction workers have unlocked something, which is really a big coincidence because you're like, you've been digging this whole time and now you've just discovered something. I mean, look at the size of this hole. This hole is huge. I mean, you guys, I don't know. I'm just talking at this point. So anyway, they uncover a mantle, and the mantle comes up, and there's a fucking egg in it. Zordon senses it, calls the Rangers. Rangers teleport back to the command center, which everything from teleportation to the command center just looks completely remastered and awesome compared to the show. Yes, given that the budget for this movie was like 100 times more than this TV show, you would expect that something would be something like this. So command center is all doped out. Alpha's all chromed up. The lights in the command center are all just blinking better. Zordon is an actual talking face instead of just a floating head in a tube. And he tells them that a morphological being named Ivan Ooze has been uncovered. And Zordon's telling them the story. And apparently he and other teenagers, just like the team, locked Ivan Ooze away. And I'm like, why an egg? I've always wondered that. Anybody else wonder that? Why would you lock an intergalactic morphological being of cosmic power inside of an egg? That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, Zordon tells the Rangers to go back, make sure the egg doesn't open. But before they get there, which is a really considerable amount of time because when they teleported away, it was daytime, and they're coming back, it's fucking nighttime. By then, Rita, Zed, Goldar, and some pig monster who I still don't know, shows up and opens the egg, releasing Ivan Ooze. Ivan Ooze, for some reason, aside from shape-shifting and shooting ooze at people, has the ability to sniff teenagers. I don't know. That seems kind of pedophilish there, Paul Freeman. You played it off really well, but I don't know if I would want to have the ability to smell teenagers, especially not in 2019. I'm just saying. Anyways, the Rangers show up. They're late. The egg has already been open, and they get attacked by Ivan Ooze, who was shape-shifting as a security guard. Now, I've been watching a lot of the behind-the-scenes footage of this movie that just somehow recently came out on YouTube about a few months ago, and apparently the whole idea behind Ivan Ooze was giving him the ability to shapeshift into multiple people. He can be anything, anyone at any time. But the only time we see him shapeshift in a movie is during this scene right here, where he's a security guard. I mean, he could have done so much with that awesome power to shapeshift into things, to infiltrate things, to get in. He could have become one of the Rangers and snuck into the command center and then destroyed the command center instead of sneaking in himself and then destroying it from there. But I'll get into that later. Anyways, Ivan Ooze reveals himself to the Rangers. The Rangers are like, ew, gross.
Ew, gross.
And they go off and they have this really cool fight scene. And I gotta say that the choreography of the fight scenes on this movie is just a lot better than the movie. And fun fact, yes, most of the Rangers, the actors who play them, were doing most of their gymnast and martial arts stunts, which is another reason why I like the original Rangers, because most of them do their own stunts. And it just looks really great. I cannot stress that enough. So the whole fight scene happens. Meanwhile, Ivan Ooze breaks into the command center, has this little spat with Zordon. He's coming back. Let me just show you this. Let me just show you how this went for a second.
Oh, the things that I have missed! The Black Plague! The Spanish Inquisition! The Brady Bunch reunion!
It's great, right? Like, the Brady Bunch reunion. Dude, how did you even know that was a thing until You were locked in an egg for 6,000 years. Anyways, he's pissed. He destroys the command center. And at the same time, the Rangers finish up his little goons and they power down. They lose their power. So I don't know how long or where this command center is, but they hike all the way back to the command center and sneak in there, and they find the whole place just completely trashed. Zordon's out of his tube, which he looks weird. He looks like a scrotum with a head. Yep, I said it. So Alpha tells him that there is another power on a planet called Phaedos, and if they go, they can get it, bring Zordon back to life, and finally stop Ivan Ooze. So the Rangers teleport off planet. And as they're going past out of the planet, they pass by Lord Zed's lair, which is on the moon. And Rita's like, oh my god, the Rangers are going after the Great Power. And I'm like, how could you possibly know that? Like, there are so many directions in space that you can't really pinpoint where someone is going without valid coordinates. So we're just going to leave that there. Ivan Ooze comes back, double crosses Lord Zed and Rita, puts them in a snow globe, and assumes command over the entire moon, I guess. I don't know what he's trying to take control over. Anyways, he has Godar and a little pig thing under his control, and they start taking over the minds and the parents of Angel Grove. Why parents? I don't know. I would just take over everybody, not just parents. But it's a kids movie, so parents. All right. Rangers arrive at Phaedos, and they get attacked by these crow things. They call it Tengu, but in the show they changed it to Tenga. But Tengu, which is kind of like a Japanese bird thing from Japanese folklore, Ivan Ooze spit him up, and he says, go after them. And then you can see these things flying to the planet in fucking space. Again, it's a kid's movie. Doesn't have to make sense. For the sake of plot, that's how the birds got to the planet. So they get their asses handed to them, and then this chick, whom every fucking 10-year-old who watched this movie fell in love with, named Dulcia, comes down and saves her ass. Fun fact, the actress who played Dulcia actually tried out, no, back up. Catherine, who eventually became the Pink Ranger after Kimberly left the show, she actually tried out to be Dulcia in the movie, but got passed up to this chick because, I mean, like, why? Why wouldn't you, right? But she tried out for the show, for the movie, to play Dulcia, ended up becoming the Pink Ranger instead later on, so that's fun. So Dulcia tells him, hey, you're not supposed to be here. Intruders aren't welcome. She like sweeps Tommy with her staff. He falls, and I'm looking at this like right now as I'm like a 30-year-old man, and I'm like, that shit looked like it hurt. There's no getting up from that. You probably slipped a disc, my dude. You okay? Anyways, all they have to do is mention Zordon, and this chick comes to her senses, and they tell her that Zordon's dying, and everyone apparently knows about Ivan Ooze, even this chick who lives on a distant planet, who I still don't understand. How would she know that? But again, kids movie, just for the sake of plot, she's essential to the plot. Okay? So she takes them to the Temple of the Ninjetti, gives them ninja powers, and sends them on a quest to get to the monolith to get the great power in order for them to receive new powers. So that's what they do. So Tommy's a falcon, Adam's a frog, Kimberly's a crane, Aisha's a bear, Rocky is an ape, and Billy is a wolf. Now, when I was watching this movie, I had no idea that they were getting new powers and new Zords and stuff like that. But if you go back to the Alien Rangers, or in the Japanese, Kakuru Sentai, I forgot the name of it. I'll think of it later. Anyways, those are the Zords that they had in the movie from the Japanese footage, from the next iteration of Super Sentai that was happening. So, they had a lot of source material to work with, is what I'm saying. So they all get their powers. They set off into the jungle, fight a giant skeleton triceratops. Tommy pokes it in the eye, which I thought was hilarious. Runs up a tree, takes out a bone, head falls off, boom. They get to the monolith, and they fight these gargoyle-looking things who come out of the wall, and they're fighting actual rock. I mean, they're kicking, they're punching, and then they're not hurting at all. And these things are supposedly made out of rock. But eventually they beat them, and the monolith opens up, and they get their powers back. Now, it's kind of funny because they have these new powers, but these new powers give them back their old powers that they had before. The only difference is that they just have new Zords. Yeah. Meanwhile, Ivan Ooze is taking over all of Angel Grove. He's putting ooze into every kid's hand that allows them to take over the minds of the parents. Again, It's a kid's movie. Don't worry about it. And he's having the parents dig up his ectomorphicon titans, which are these giant bug creatures. One's a scorpion, the other one's a hornet. And I'm like, why bugs? Like, of all things, why would you choose bugs? I mean, I would have chosen something a bit more ferocious, like a griffin or some shit, but to each his own. So he eventually gets them working, puts them back together. He sets them loose on the city, and they're like destroying everything, blowing up cars. The Rangers return. They got the powers, and Ivan Ooze is like, inconceivable. The Power Rangers. After he's been smelling them coming into the atmosphere, I have no idea how this dude's nose works, but he has a fantastic nose if you can smell something entering the Earth's atmosphere. It is fucking great. Anyways, the Rangers come down. They're about to go revive Zordon. They hear a stomp, boom, boom, and they turn around and see these Morphicons, these Titan giant robots going around and just mashing up shit. So they call the Zords. Zords come out from nowhere, just in the sky. They mount the Zords, start fighting them. I gotta say, the CG in this movie absolutely sucks. But it was 95. And I gotta say, without this movie, there would probably not be any Transformers. Okay? This movie was literally the breaking ground point for all CG battles going forward. It's not Transformers yet, but it's the best we got for now. Alright? So they fight the monsters, they destroy them. Tommy's shooting missiles out of his Falcon Zord, which I wanted that toy when I was a kid. That was the one thing that I wanted. I wanted the Falcon Zord. I don't care about the other fucking bear and the crane and shit. I wanted the Falcon Zord because I was led to believe that the Falcon Zord could fire missiles as a toy. You know, just pew, 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 pew. I wanted that. I got that one Christmas. Didn't do that, but it was still my favorite toy. And I took that thing fucking everywhere. And you can best believe when they made the legacy version of the Falcon Zord, I got it. 100%. It is sitting on my shelf right now, mounted to the Ninja Megazord. I kid you not. So, they destroy the scorpion monster, and the Hornet is somehow crying because his brother got blown up. And Ivan Ooze gets really angry and fuses with the Hornet, becoming this massive Ivan Ooze Hornet something or other. I don't fucking know what to call it. And it's time for the Power Rangers to make the Megazord. And that's exactly what they do. They form the Megazord. I mean, of all the times the Rangers have formed the Megazord, the monsters never went like, oh no, I can't let them combine together, otherwise I'm fucking screwed. And just fucking kick the bear over there, punch the ape in the face, kick the wolf, like keep them from forming the Megazord. But no, Ivan Ooze just fucking stands there and just lets them do it. He's moving forward, destroys the monorail track, and goes from there. So, they fight. The Megazord is getting their ass whipped by Ivan Ooze. Meanwhile, Tommy is trying to stop a monorail, which, you know, is going. And since the monorail track is broken, there's kids on this monorail track because, hey, there's no parents in Angel Grove now because they've all been taken over by Ivan Ooze. Yay. So the kids, and there's one kid, Fred, who's been like, I don't really know what this kid's role in the movie was, but he's there, and he's just trying to stop his parents or his dad from leaping to their doom, is what Ivan Ooze said. So anyways, the Rangers get their ass kicked. Tommy saves the monorail from tipping to their doom. Fuses with the Megazord, becomes the Ninja Mega Falcon Sword, and they fly off into space because why didn't you do that before? But anyways, they take off from the ground, they fly into space, they're flying in space, fighting, punching each other. Ivan Ooze is like, I'm gonna rip you Zord by Zord. And the best part in the movie, I gotta say, the best part in the movie was when Aisha just hit the emergency button, which makes the Megazord knee Ivan Ooze and his Johnson. So he falls away, he's floating in space because he can't fly all of a sudden, and gets smacked in the face by the comet that is going around. That was supposed to be the comet that I mentioned in the beginning. And it blows up. Boom! Breaks the spell on the parents. Everyone's all happy. Next thing they're eating. And Bulk and Skull are there. And they're like, yeah, we saved all the parents. And then the fireworks go up. And they're like, thank you, Power Rangers. And Bulk and Skull's like, no, thank you, Bulk and Skull. And that's the end of the fucking movie. In my opinion, I love this movie. This movie is great. It is cheesy. It is not well done in terms of story. Could have been done better. But it was the 90s. We were kids. Anything that said Power Rangers on it, we were likely to go and see it. And I haven't seen this movie in about 10, 15 years until I saw it on Amazon on DVD. I bought it, watched it, and I still like this movie. So if you haven't got a chance, go check out Power Rangers 1995. The best part of this movie, like I said, was Aisha just kicking Ivan Ooze in the groin. That was funny. But the suits. Now, when you watch the show, the suits are just spandex with helmets, which is fine. But it like in this movie, they just took the suits to a whole new level. They had like more of an armor look to it. The helmets had a more 3D feel to it, like they were molded differently than the show. Everything about this movie in terms of design production was probably very, very well done, in my opinion. Does it hold up to 2020 standards? Probably not. But in terms of 1995, if you can go back in time and just turn your brain off and watch this movie, it's really fun. It's a really fun movie, especially if you're a Power Ranger fan. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Did you guys like Power Rangers? Did you guys ever dream of maybe being a Power Rangers? Are you a huge Power Ranger collector like I am? Let me know in the comments. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time with another subjective opinion. I'm Will at Heroic Studios. Catch you later.